Welcome back, everyone, to another episode. I'm your host, Annalena. Super excited to be back with you all. And today I have the amazing Nic McDowall here with me. And before I formally introduce you, welcome. So happy you're here with me.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Annalena. I'm excited to be here again.
Yes, we recently actually had a beautiful conversation at the Truth Ideal Summit, and he is back because it's so good. So Nic is the creator of a proprietary 12 house superconscious scripting, where she guides you to connect with your superconscious, your higher mind through your unique 12 house placement. Consciously connecting with your specific superconscious can actually help you shift subconscious beliefs that hold you back from living your life fully and authentically. And
Yeah.
obviously, you do so much more, but this is something like your baby, right? A product that you have
Yeah,
created.
yeah. Yeah, and it really came through very organically and very I do think it's my subconscious that was
Mm-hmm.
guiding me in in uh in unfolding this for me, actually. So you could say as well the subconscious, right? But in the framework, which is basically just well, I say just, but it's 11 short audios that you listen to that explains the framework and that gets you to understand where your 12th house
Mm-hmm.
energy is. Um, and I do go into a little bit about what I consider as a difference between the subconscious, conscious, and the subconscious, right? And yeah, and it really came through reading the book by Joseph Murphy, I think it is. I always get his surname mixed up. I'm pretty sure it's Murphy, called The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. And it was through reading that I was wondering, how can I relate this to the natal chart? You
Yeah.
know, because I think there's so many ways and so many tools to kind of reprogram or rewire the subconscious or do something to shift our beliefs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I thought there must be a way to do that, to access that through our natal chart that might make it easier for some people, right? And so it took me down this exploration. And yeah, it's been, I mean, I've done it and I keep doing it myself. I mean, it keeps evolving. And I had some people join me initially. And yeah, we've all experienced internal as well as external shifts. So it's really cool.
Yeah, I love that. And what I really would like to talk to you about, because there's a little bit of a backstory, right? How this all came about. And
Yes.
so you went through the intuitive human design teacher training and certification, the first round that started about a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I find your story so fascinating because one, you were super committed, you really showed up, you did all the work. And I also have seen such an identity shift with you from where you were at when you started and to now, like creating your own things. And that was really like the whole intention of the program, right? Not to
Mm-hmm.
have you do exactly human design in the way that I do it in one way, but rather like, hey, this is another tool you have and use the existing tools you already have. Like for you, you already came with a background in astrology. And so here you are now created your own tool. It was kind of without planning it and also through applying. I think the frameworks we have been, the conditioning frameworks we have
Mm-hmm.
going through in the process, right? So we really step for you more powerfully into your purpose and share that gift with others. So with that, I would love to hear from you. Where were you at in terms of your identity when you joined the program?
Oh, okay. Let me see. Gosh, it really does feel like there's been a quantum leap in my life. Um, which yeah. Around this time last year, I came across you very serendipitously,
Mm,
right? I heard about your name in an interview, but because it was a replay, there wasn't any like show notes or anything that I could see. So your name was just mentioned, and then I tried looking you up, And then I couldn't find you, although I knew your name was Annalena, but I couldn't remember the surname. And then a few days later, my friend, shared your account, I think, your Instagram account. And she was like, yeah, Nic, I think you'd really, resonate with what she's talking about. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the woman I've been looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh gosh, there were so many synchronicities around this time last year, already beginning at the end of 2024. Really, when I decided, like, okay, I'm going to dive deeper into everything that I've been passionate about with astrology. And then I encountered human design initially, I don't know, 2020, 2021, because I had the Gene Keys book for a while, but I remember I started reading it, but then I put it down. Even though it was very, very fascinating, it was clearly not the time for me then, right? And then, so I knew about human design, and I did kind of look into it, and obviously loved the astrological perspective that's weaved in. And I know, like, we've spoken at length about the tropical versus the true sidereal, but in tropical, I was a generator. I mean, I still am, obviously. I mean, we have the energy, but my profile was, or the type was generator, and then getting to know basically through your account, I think, that I'm a manifesting generator as a type just shifted everything, because I'd already been reading about it through one of my children, and I remember reading and thinking, oh gosh, this sounds like me. I really vibe with this type. But yeah, anyway, so I found you, and then honestly, it was just, yeah, the timing was perfect, because you had just started talking, I think, about your um, program, about the certification, and there were just like a week left, I think, technically, to enroll. Just like, yeah, this is it. Because I had literally just been thinking, okay, because I was already on my way with astrology, but with human design, I was like, do I do that now, or maybe I do it later? And then, I'd kind of already discovered a little bit about true sidereal, but obviously not fully until I saw your account, and then I was like, oh, okay, I have to go with Annalena, and that's really how it all started, and yeah, I mean, I think that the identity shift I've had is from last year to now has really been like unpeeling of very many layers. I think that's probably the best way to describe it. I mean, if I consider that the conditioning and all of that are all these layers have just gone on, like, layered on top of us. It was just peeling away one after the other to kind of find me.
Yeah. So, question for that. Let's go a little bit deeper
Yeah.
into this. Like, what were some of these layers that weren't you? What was the identity that you were at? Also in terms of what you were doing in your business, your career.
Yeah. So before I really committed to the path that I'm on now, which is working with astrology and human design. I was working as a photographer, mainly a family photographer, and that was like one of my first passions that I discovered after I had my first child. I have three kids, but after my first, and then up until that point, I had always, worked a 9 to 5, been in corporate, all of that. But I was like, I just cannot do that anymore. After, becoming a mother, as kind of that's the first initiation into something else, I feel. And for me, I just was like, I can't go back to anything that's, taking me away from my child for so many hours. And I wasn't very happy doing what I was doing. And so I decided to go for it with the photography. So kind of how what I did, which was commit to this path. I committed to that path of photography at the time, and it's that life path you can also see in my natal chart, which is very interesting actually. But yeah, it gave me so much. It gave me light. It helped me, deal with tremendous grief right, after my mother had passed away. And it was like, oh, do I even start a business or not? Because I was in such grief, but actually it was really photography that kind of lifted me out of it. And it's quite grounding for me as well, actually. Creating these, like taking the photos and being in the moment, because you really have to be in the moment when you're taking the
Yeah, yeah.
photos. And so that definitely sustained me. Like I felt that gave me a certain life force and joy, of course. And it was the first taste, I think, of, oh, this is very, very different, and it's something that I really love to do. And then, so that business kind of took off and kind of bloomed back in 2020, between 2020 and 2022. And then we moved to another country where, the kind of the climate wasn't quite the same. And then I got pregnant with my third. So everything just took a back seat with my job, basically. Yeah. And then when we moved again, I was kind of picking up the photography, but yeah, I just serendipitously had a conversation, with someone who is now a dear friend, and she kind of was, I was just talking about human design, and it's very funny thinking about it now, because at that time I knew nothing really about human design other than like, the little that I'd looked up, and I think, there are human design apps and things. But obviously when I spoke about it, she was like, you're really lit up by this, Nic. Like, isn't this something you should be doing, And I'm like, nah, but it really, I don't know why her saying it at that time just really stuck with me. And then I kind of spoke about it with my husband, who claims that he's been telling me all these years, maybe not with human design, but with astrology, that I should, focus on it. And then I told some other close friends, and, just got such an overwhelming response. So I was like, okay, there's something here that I should follow. And then I had my own reading, and then basically it came up in the reading, and I was like, okay, I got this. I got the message. I'll
Yeah,
do it.
universe, I'm listening.
I'm listening. I'll really do this. And I think, one big conditioning was, this idea that I couldn't work with astrology, for example, right? Because, I mean, the story where, like, as soon as I could read and go into bookstores as a 10-year-old, the section that you would find me in was the astrology section, right? That was probably around the time Ra channeled human design, potentially, right?
Yeah. True.
So there were no human design books in that section, but if there were, I'd probably be fascinated by it. But yeah, the astrology just hooked me as a 10-year-old. And yeah, I think if I had been supported and encouraged in that, maybe I would have actually pursued it in a different way from a much younger age. But it's funny, even as a child, I guess I quickly understood that, oh, this isn't anything maybe that is taken seriously.
Yeah, that's the conditioning we have, right? Like, how can I make a career with that? It's too woo-woo, it's too spiritual. And I think since you were a kid, you had this pull towards the bigger realms, the sky, the stars, and
absolutely.
eventually
And
life invited you into that, yeah.
And really like this like self-understanding, because I got asked this question the other day, like, well, what was it as a 10-year-old that drew you in, And I'm like, yeah, it must have been the fact that I was fascinated to open a book, read, my then Capricorn sun, but it's my Capricorn moon now, right? And I just resonated, and I was like, oh my gosh, how can this book know this? Like, it just, I was absolutely fascinated. So I guess already then I must have really strongly felt, without knowing, the importance of knowing ourselves,
Yeah, yeah.
you know? Um, but yeah, I mean, now, I'm in my 40s, so now I'm like, I don't care what people think. Okay. Like,
Good.
these are my opinions, these are my views. And if
Yeah.
you don't agree with them, let's just agree to disagree, right?
Mm.
And so I was like, I'm doing this. And this is the thing as well, right? Which is like, once you commit, the universe just needs to kind of act with you, you know? That's the
Yes,
thing.
it's a very strong power when we give a clear direction because I found too, when we are indecisive, I think anything in life, personal
Yeah.
or business related, there is nothing the universe can respond to, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And once I think that's kind of what happened when you joined the program, right? You were like, no,
Yeah.
I'm fully in, like I'm committed. And I could feel that
Yeah.
throughout the whole program. You were like, I have loved this all my life and I already love astrology and now human design. It was like you're having a party, you know?
Yeah, it was. And I think it was actually when I was watching one of the modules,
Hmm.
I had to pause it and I had to just, in this chair, I was sitting and I had to pause and I just had to like, jump up and down with glee because I was like, I can't believe I get to do
Oh,
this, or
oh,
like that I'm fine. Like, it's like I've described it before as my cells are swimming in joy, you
oh,
know, like
mm,
just watching modules or reading books. I haven't read a book and well, basically since my firstborn, who's now he's
hmm.
8 tomorrow, actually.
Oh,
Um, and
happy birthday.
last, thank you, I'll let him know. Last year, I think I read, well, I bought more than 13 books, right? So that would have been like more than 1 month. Sorry, one book a month.
Hmm.
And obviously they're all, astrology related and I have the gene keys, right? And the I Ching. And it's
Hmm.
like crazy. And somehow I just, you know, I'm like just turning the pages very, very quickly. So yeah, I think that was a big one. Like not really caring that what people think, if I work with astrology. Um, and um, and I actually think it's going to become more and more sought after again. That's
I think so too. Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I have been talking with so many people that are in careers that feel soul draining. And
Mm-hmm.
especially, I mean, this is also happening with AI, a lot of software engineers, for example. Like, I mean, AI is going
Yeah.
to do programming. So many jobs are gonna
Yeah.
fall off. And there's a lot of people that, like you, like me, we always had this interest for there's something bigger out there. We want to
Mm-hmm.
understand how the world works and how we can
Yeah.
live our best lives, right? And we're
Yeah.
we're drawn to the more esoterical, spiritual realms.
Yeah.
And I think there's so many people hiding. And I hope that our conversation inspires people like, hey, if you kind of feel like this and
Mm-hmm.
you know you're not meant to sit in a cubicle and do something that is freaking soul draining to you, maybe there's something there
Then
for you.
yeah.
Go for it, because
Yeah.
you're not alone. We are feeling just like you.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
like you say, the path will unfold. Like the universe will, it's when all these synchronicities get activated because
Mm-hmm.
you already knew since you were a kid. And I think this is this like inner knowing that we have where, okay, this is God source universe talking to you. This is what you came here for, what you're meant to do. And I love how patient the universe is with us. Like, right?
Yeah.
We can like decades later, like, yeah, now you're ready. Okay, now let's do it. And then all these
Yeah.
things, like you describe how you found me. You could never
Yeah.
have planned it,
I
right? You
would
couldn't,
no.
and yeah, I know my last name is not quite typical. So and then somehow somebody told you, right? It was probably the
Yeah.
universe letting this person know, hey, go tell Nick.
Yeah.
And then we come together and we spent this 9 month journey together. And I
Yeah.
remember, I mean, almost every module, you like shared your joy, what you were excited about, what you love, and all this stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, and now you maybe you want to share a little bit about it. Yeah, I mean, you started giving human design readings to people, and how have you felt that in terms of the impact you're creating for your clients? and also how you approach human design. Because,
Mm,
my teaching style is a little bit different than
yeah.
what we read in books. It's
Yeah.
more intuitive. So I would love to hear your experience and how that has flown into the impact you're creating with clients.
Yeah. So, I mean, I definitely, yeah, I did feel quite early on with both human design and astrology that I just need to do the readings, like I
Mm-hmm.
could just keep sitting on the sidelines and watch the modules and read the books and all of that. But I also knew like, I do remember quite clearly. I don't remember exactly when though, but it was definitely before the summer when I'm like, I just need to dive off the deep end and do this because I know that's the only way that I'm really going to learn more.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I started with free readings, offering to friends and family. And I was very lucky because I had so many people who were like, yeah, sure, you can do a reading for me. Like I didn't really I think there was one time I came across someone who was like, oh, you're so lucky that you have all these people who just want readings, because
Mm-hmm.
I actually have, when I offer, they're like, man, I don't believe in that kind of stuff, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I didn't really encounter those um, skeptics, I suppose, but just people who are either like, oh, I don't know what this is, I'd be happy to, or people who kind of already were interested in this kind of work. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, and of course, when I think back on those readings and readings I do now, I'm a little bit like,
Why you
maybe
made
I should.
progress? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. And that's also very layered, like
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
can, when you start off, you're kind of on these, training wheels a little bit, and you kind of keep to
Mm-hmm.
to a structure. But what I love with your program is that, from the get-go, you're already really encouraging us to just listen to our own, intuition, go with what feels right for us, not to get, too kind of dogmatic about any one thing. And I feel like I'm happy that I didn't like go deep into human design before I came across you, other than just really, I think I downloaded one quite popular app. Um, but other than that, I didn't have much information. So I didn't really know about this very like, but Ra said, and all of that was,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
thought, oh, wow, I've actually been spared that. So I didn't have to do any kind of, tinkering in
Well,
that
you took the
department.
management shortcut, no?
Yeah, yes, exactly. I took the management shortcut. And yeah, and I mean the greatest impact, I guess, when I have readings with people is that oftentimes, like when I've kind of collected testimonials as well, and obviously these people don't know each other, so they don't know what the other person is saying,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
I kind of have paid attention to like, okay, is there like a key word that often comes up? And what does often come up is clarity.
Mm-hmm.
Like a reading gives them clarity, which is exactly what happened in my own reading, right? And
Mm-hmm.
where I got the go from the universe to pursue this path. But and sometimes it might not be that obvious, but it's, you still get some kind of clarity around where you are, in life, in your life cycle. Um, a person's their own kind of gifts and what they can strengthen within themselves, right? But I think, yeah, most people come for readings, right? When they're a bit lost. Like I don't think a lot of people really come when things are kind of, going according to how they like their lives are going, or when there is that kind of clarity in their lives, right? They probably don't feel that they need it as much, but it really is when um, people are at a crossroads. So
Yeah, I find that too. Exactly. I think that's the where they feel like they're going through a big shift in their life and then they're not quite sure where it's going and also what are the fears that are kind of holding people back, right? And
yeah,
so I feel like that's where human design and And this is something that I want to emphasize because, yeah, this is a human design certification, right? But it's also covering like how can you integrate human design with the gene keys, with astrology, because I do this myself. Like every reading that I do, I'm bringing all these elements depending on where the session is going, what the client needs, what's being asked, because
Hmm.
it's all interconnected, right? These
Yeah.
systems don't, what is the word here? They don't contradict each other. They just enrich each other.
Yeah.
We can
Yeah.
really go deeper. And I have noticed over the years, and maybe you also have some experience with that, that people often came to me and like, yeah, I had a human design reading, but it was just this like cookie cutter information that wasn't helpful for people. They told me what
Hmm.
my type is, what my profile is, what I should do. It was like kind of a list of labels.
Yeah.
And I know information is cool and we like it
Yeah.
in the moment. And I think we all, when we first discover human design or astrology, like we read all the books and we go all in.
Hmm.
There's a part of it. But then we realize, oh, this is not really giving me a shift. This is not creating a transformation in my life. And the way that I think I have been teaching all of you, and because I have seen it so powerful with my own clients, and I'm like, I
Yeah.
want more people to do it in this way. And it's not my way, it's your own intuitive way, right? Where you
Yeah.
really tune into a client, you use all the tools you have, which, yeah, you learn now human design, but everything else that you already have is your life experience. For you, is astrology.
Yeah.
Some people also may use some other somatic body work or the
Hmm.
Enneagram. I mean, coaching principles. And it's a super powerful coaching session where the client walks away with that clarity that you mentioned. So,
Yeah.
and they create this shift in their direction, right? Where there before there was this fog and this indecisiveness and didn't know where it's gonna go. And now it's like, oh, here's my path.
Yeah.
And then also for them, that's really, I truly feel like we're creating a ripple effect because you now set this foundation for another person or this breakthrough moment of clarity. And now they feel more confident in themselves and they have the courage because it's this confirmation. We need that, right? I still need
Yeah.
that from time to time.
Yeah.
Anytime there's it's the next level, okay, yeah, this is what I'm really good at and this is what I'm supposed to do. And it's obviously
Yeah.
how it feels in our body. And so we help people really change their lives and it starts with something. And I feel like
Yeah.
this ignition point.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And I actually haven't gotten around to sharing this with you, but I did a reading not too long ago, a human design reading. And I've kind of felt a little, what's the word I want to say? Resistant
Mm-hmm.
towards the variables, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I don't know what it was, but I just knew that I had to look at this woman's variables. I've never done
Yeah.
so. That entire reading was focusing on basically that, but I knew that that was what she kind of needed,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know that I would have like felt, or even if I'd felt it, I might have just pushed it away.
Yeah. Yeah.
But because of your encouragement of like, there isn't one way to do a reading, and it, really, depends on the chart that you're looking at.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I do know this woman. So just kind of knowing a little bit about what was going on,
Mm-hmm.
I felt like, okay, I don't know why. I've never done a reading where I just focus on the variables, but I
That's
think this would be
awesome.
helpful for her. And there were, so many good, um, just so many good things that came up for her that she needed to be reminded of.
Mm-hmm.
Also some new things, but just also, oh yeah, I do that, and I need to, So it was, and yeah, it was really beautiful, and I really did reflect on the fact that because it's so not the program that you teach is so not this cookie cutter
Mm-hmm.
approach that I, could do this reading in the way that I did, which was even
Mm-hmm.
different
Mm-hmm.
to, you know, I kind of have my own sort of outline that I go by initially. But yeah, I just threw all of that to the side and was like, we're going to focus on this
Wow,
today.
that's amazing. Yeah, it's such a
Yeah.
beautiful example how, yeah, every client is so different. And I'm just so amazed by how you have that courage to trust yourself that even though, because that's what happens when you look at a chart, when you engage with a client, you know a little bit about them. Okay, where do I want to go? It's going to be different for every client, even
Mm,
like when you look at the chart. So
yeah.
I actually find that the human design chart has helped me and us all together, right? Activate our intuition and our
Hmm.
self-trust because there is no, just like you and I are different, also with human design, there is no one way. And one person may love just covering the basics because they're
Hmm.
spanking new, but another person, like you say, you're gonna go into the super advanced, like the variables.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, everybody's unique, everybody's different. I like
Yeah.
science of
Yeah.
differentiation.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but and again, it really is, thanks to um you constantly talking about it in the program as well, right?
Yeah,
So
I brainwash you guys into trusting yourself.
yeah. Yeah.
Because I know it takes time. We have to like hear it again and again and again.
Yeah,
And like,
absolutely.
because what happens is it needs to start feeling safe, right?
Yeah.
And that's really what I'm doing. Like, no, it's good. This is what we do. So it becomes familiar to you, and that's just what you do. And this is also why it's 9 months, because, just like a baby takes usually around 9 months to be
Yeah.
born, like you're gonna be reborn into a person that really trusts yourself, follows your own intuition, and yeah, you're such a beautiful role model of doing that.
Thank you. Yeah.
I'm
And
so proud of you.
yeah. Thank you. And yeah, and speaking of the length of the program, I think it's really, yeah, it's a really good length. Um, because I don't know that there are many programs out there. I think they're kind of a lot more condensed and
Mhm.
shorter, and it does kind of give you that time to go through the modules, and then with the calls as well to go through everything that we each feel that we'd like to bring up. So yeah, you kind of really get immersed, I guess, which is also yeah, I think it's a really key and important part because yeah, would you just rushing through everything, and I mean, the reason I can read like so many books, I feel, is because I am a very fast reader. Like I do
Mhm.
just
Mhm.
but then also I know that I can miss things, or I don't kind of always retain everything that I want, so I have to kind of be mindful and remind myself to like really read, at a
Mhm.
slower pace. So I think um, having this longer kind of time together, as well with people, I mean, I've made such beautiful friendships as well. That's the other thing.
Yeah, that's
Um,
actually one of the biggest values, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I got some beautiful gifts last year, I feel, in the form of friendship. So
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah, and now also you really launched your business. You're out there. You have this gorgeous website. It's gonna be all in the show notes. You are 12 house super conscious scripting. And yeah, nothing could make me happier to see that you're fully stepping into your power. You're using your gift. You're blending these two tools, astrology, human design, and also gene keys into everything. And
Yeah.
you're changing people's lives and you love doing it. I mean, I can see that spark
Yeah.
smile like on your face right now. You're like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm having a party, because they're
Yeah.
doing that. And yeah, just that's why we do those things, right?
Yeah.
We actually can see
Yeah.
the impact. We're creating that together. And
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. And these are really, they are, obviously I'm biased, but I do think they're important tools for, personal self development.
mhm.
Um, I was watching a webinar by an astrologer that was recorded a while ago now, I think. And he did have he did have a point when he said, people far greater than you or I have, never looked at their chart, astrology in this case, right? And have gone on to like achieve the most amazing things. And that is totally true. Like, it's not absolutely necessary to look at a chart, but I just feel there's so much like magic and so many like jewels. I can't even like, I don't even like celestial jewels to sort of unpack in our celestial blueprint, and the amazing thing is we get given this like for free, at the time of our birth. I mean, it's almost like the universe is saying, here is a map, and it can help you. And I'm very mindful to not let the chart kind of control or constrict or restrict me, because I feel like it's really important to still live our lives. But it is pretty incredible to look at it and see how it does really speak about our lives, and so yeah, I just think these are, if you want to understand yourself better, and through doing that, you do end up having healthier relationships, right? And hopefully less projecting. Yeah, I think they're just really important tools for that.
Yeah, I agree. That's why we're here. And what is one final thing you would tell someone that has been thinking about joining the certification, is a little bit on the fence?
Oh, well, if your body is telling you to do it, then you should do it, obviously. That's like the human design rule. I don't want to say rule, but the mind isn't here to make decisions, right? It's how it feels. So, obviously if you think about it and you keep going back to Annalena's landing page and reading all the copy, and you feel like, ooh, then I would say just do it, because there's just magic on the other side. Like, I don't know that there's anything to lose. You get to understand yourself better from a human design perspective. And then at the end, if you want to, you can, help other people. So yeah.
Yeah, the
I say go for it.
invitation is here. And also, yeah, when we feel, I have, at least for me, experience, like I know these things, but there's also this I'm a little bit scared usually because I know there's such a big transformation and I gotta show up and I need to be fully committed, because that's just one thing I want to highlight. If you decide to join us, show up like Nic. She really was there for almost all of the calls. She engaged, she asked questions, engaged with the other people. And that's why she went through such a huge shift, right? Where she was kind of like, this like woo-woo stuff, I can't do this in my work, or maybe. And now she's having her business and she's helping people and changing people's lives and launching courses that feel so soul aligned. And it's incredible. So
yeah.
you feel the call, I'll see you on the inside.
Yeah. And you won't regret it. You really won't regret it.
Thank you, Nic, for your time, for your shares. I cannot get enough of hearing your story, and I'm super excited to hear what comes next for you and the impact you're making in the world. Is there anything else, like one final nugget of wisdom that you want to leave everyone with that is absolutely life-changing?
Oh my goodness.
I mean, for
The
you.
pressure.
No pressure.
I know, right? Oh gosh. Oof. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know really. Yeah, it's quite a broad request in that sense. There are so many things I could say, but
I think the simplest.
oh, gosh, I feel like my brain is at a standstill actually, but
Maybe it's embrace silence.
Well, yeah, that's a big one. That is a big one. Yeah, that's part of like the whole 12th house superconscious. Like getting into stillness. Yeah. So going back to your original, well, your question before, if someone's on the fence, I would recommend that getting into stillness and see what wants to come through regarding joining the program. Yeah.
Yeah, rather than
Because
trying.
essentially we all have the answers, right? We always
Yeah.
we always have the answers within us.
Mm. You see, here was the nugget of wisdom. Sometimes it comes from embracing the unknown and not knowing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
this. All right. Thank you again. And thank you everyone for listening. All the links are going to be in the show notes for the certification. Also, to get in touch with Nic, please check out her work. As you know, she's
Thank
amazing.
you. Thank you
And
so much for having me, Annalena.
yeah, anytime, just give me a call. All right, everyone, have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you back at the next episode. Ciao, everyone.
Bye.